That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Mickeyfan.
And who's ready to reveal some teams,
I
guys?
am.
This is a very exciting event that we decided we'd do on the podcast and kind of kill two birds with one stone, too.
Yeah.
Now, this is the end of the first round of So You Want to Be an Imagineer season 18.
Midnight tomorrow.
We divided the teams for the first round into Team Old School and Team New School, and or Next Gen, I should say. Yeah. And Mickeyfan, do you want to kind of like run down what's been going on with the teams, just kind of generally speaking?
A lot of creativity, a lot coming together in these last few days.
Oh yeah.
I'm very excited to see where these two teams end up with their projects.
And it's going to be an issue of the old schoolers kind of took like the slow and steady approach. They didn't pound their brainstorming into oblivion. They really kind of kept on like maybe contributing a few ideas a day, kind of building on it little by little. And then meanwhile, we have the new schoolers who are just bam, right out of the gate, guns blazing. Just it's great to see.
And there were a ton of ideas that both threw around that,
Cats. I wanted cats so bad. I even went as far as to messaging Joker and being like, look, dude, I would fucking love it if you did cats. But Joker was like, no, I don't like meme projects. I'm trying to take this seriously. I'm like, all right, fair enough. I wanted to see cats so bad. You don't even know. Especially Basket Buddy concept art of a cat's land.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
That's something I need to see.
But I saw stuff like My Hero Academia from I think it was Dash Haver who talked about that very first day. And
The Last Airbender was one that both teams were kind of throwing around that I was surprised that didn't get in there.
No one go for that one.
Oh, by the way, Mickeyfan, just so you know, I stopped my binge of Last Airbender, watching it for the first time, right at the end of the first part of the season 1 finale.
Why?
Because I have to do this, dude. I don't know. Fucking Zuko's got Aang. All shit's breaking loose. The Fire Nation's about to attack.
Hold up. Let's rewind real quick. This is your first time watching it?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
How?
I don't know. I just never had the time, and now it's on Netflix, and I have the time.
Oh. I could go on. I
know you could. I'm sure you could. It speaks for itself. I'm in love with it, and I haven't even gotten to the good seasons yet.
I don't think that there's such a thing as a bad season of The Last Airbender.
But I've heard that seasons 2 and 3 only build upon what season 1 did, though. So I'm looking forward to the. I know elements of it. Like I know that Zuko gets redeemed.
Elements.
I know that Zuko gets redeemed. I know most of the characters that come in. I'm looking forward to seeing Toph because I've heard a lot about Toph.
Toph is possibly the best character in this entire franchise.
That's what I keep hearing. I can't wait to get to her.
It's either Toph or Zuko.
Well, right now I'm Team Iroh all the way, baby.
Yeah, he's in there too.
Especially because I just got done with like the first real moment where Iroh admits that Zuko is like a son to him, and oh god,
Uncle Iroh.
All right. It's not a Last Airbender podcast. God. Okay, but point being, any other concepts that you saw floating around?
I don't remember which team it was, but someone talked about Final Fantasy, and I'm kind of bummed that they didn't go for that.
But the thing is, with Final Fantasy, what would they like? They would have had to adapt like a specific Final Fantasy realm, right?
Not necessarily. They could have
They could have like Galaxy's Edge did and had like a unique Final Fantasy realm with Chobacos and like architecture that's similar.
Well, I was gonna say they could have gone the Dissidia route and done the whole kitchen sink.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Well, either way, it's very exciting to see that both teams are playing differently.
Oh yeah.
But alas, Mickeyfan, this whole time, you guys haven't been playing for 2 teams. You've been playing for 3 teams, and you just didn't know it yet. So Mickeyfan, through, dare I say, ridiculously calculated science and math, we were able to come up
there
with
was
3
a
teams.
spreadsheet.
There literally was. We're not even kidding you guys. There was like a tier list. There was a spreadsheet, like multiple different drafts. This was an ordeal. This was a process to come up with. All right. So with that in mind, you want to get to Team SYWTBAI first?
Yeah.
And what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to reveal who's on what team. And of course, just as a disclaimer, obviously, like, finish up the project you're on. Don't just be like, oh, now I'm Team SYWTBAI. I gotta abandon the Team Old School. No, obviously, for the next 24 hours or so, roughly, you guys are still on Team Old School and Team New School. This is just like moving forward into round 2, in case that's not clear.
Yes.
So, all right, Team SYWTBAI. So first and foremost, we have, honestly, one of my personal kind of like, I know that hosts aren't supposed to have people they're rooting for, but man, I'm rooting for Jokers.
Jokers is one of my rooters too. Just classic contestant. Always puts in a good project, always puts in a good effort.
So Jokers, I feel like, has definitely taken the leadership role this project alongside Pi.
Absolutely.
And he said himself that there's very much a possibility that his personal schedule is going to get the better of him. But if the gods are on his side and he actually manages to, like, his schedule actually frees him up to compete the whole time, I don't know, folks. I think he's definitely a contender to at least make the semifinals at the very least, because just his leadership skills, arguably, maybe besides Peregrine, who we'll get to, I think he might have the best leadership skills in this whole cast. And of course, him being a veteran, so you want to be an Imagineer player, definitely helps with that.
Yeah. Wasn't he on the Vision Fantastic form?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He competed way back in season 7 and season 8, and then won season 9. That's his little history with the game. Actually, in season 7 and season 8, he made it all the way to the semifinals and then got booted at the semifinals 2 times in a row.
I know the feeling.
And then season 9, he came back and won. So, and honestly, I've got some things to say about Basket Buddy. Not necessarily negative things, but I just think as the game is evolving, I feel like flashy projects and a lot of detail and just the overall wow factor is not going to be as core of a part of the game as just overall teamwork and dynamics are.
Yeah.
And that's honestly one of the goals that I have for this season, is to really zero in on the team dynamics as like the main gameplay component this season.
Oh, yeah.
And so with that in mind, I would freaking love Jokers to be the second 2-time winner, just on the merit of playing a fantastic fantastic social game every time he plays.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Anything else on Joker?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay, who's the next member of Team SYWTBAI?
One I'm very excited for. A newcomer to our little Imagineering family, Nigel Channing.
Yes, Nigel Channing. This guy is just, I'd say it's fair to say he's like the breakout star of the cast.
just from the sheer enthusiasm, the uninhibited mind vomit that I get from him in the brainstorming. And that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the amount of activity, I really think, if the stars align, that he absolutely could end up on the semifinal, even a finalist.
I mean, I think out of everyone in the cast, like, I don't know much about him personally, but I'm willing to guess that he's like kind of, probably got a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah.
Probably skews a little bit on the younger side, which is good for this game.
Absolutely.
And although, keep in mind, the final two in Sorcerer's Apprentice were both old fucks with me and D. Hensley. I just want to point that out. So the old geezers can go at it too.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I definitely think that Nigel, man, he's like fucking Rupert stealing the shoes in the first 5 minutes of Survivor. It's like you instantly love this kid.
Yes. And I think there's almost something of this scrappy charm to him that I'm seeing.
Now, Mickeyfan, please explain this infatuation you have with the potential Joker's Nigel pairing.
I think we have a total classic player and a total newcomer who's so eager for the competition and so eager, to make his mark. I think that it could be a dream team. There's just something tells me it's going to be a dream team, hopefully.
All right. Yeah. Very exciting. Very exciting. All right. Next member is Team Sertra.
Brer Panther.
Brer Panther. All right. Now, Brer Panther he's always been a little bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
I think he definitely excels better in the smaller components of the projects.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The stop and smell the roses aspects of the projects.
I got to admit, in terms of like the tiers, he's not on the higher end for me. Just because I feel like in these games he has a history of sort of like he's there, but he's never really at the forefront of brainstorming. He's never contributing. Yeah. He's never contributing like the power punch that wins the project. All this stuff is good, but what I'm looking to see from him this season is for him to really come out of his shell, really get to the forefront of the brainstorming, or at the very least, really just kind of like up his game in terms of the writing. Because honestly, I feel like he's, not to say this is a bad thing, because consistency is good for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like he's been at the same basic level with his creativity and writing and everything for a while. And I'd like to see him do more presentation stuff. I'd like to see him, maybe write a bit more long form, like I said, play around with presentation.
Yeah. Expand his horizons a bit.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see how he does.
Yeah.
All right. Next member, Mickeyfan.
Dashhaber.
All right. Hey, first of all, this guy has just the funnest name to say.
It is. It really is.
Dashhaber.
Bit of a wild card for me, honestly.
Yeah, I got to admit, Team New School, the brainstorming in that thread is just so active that I have a hard time keeping up with who's doing what.
Oh, yeah.
Who's putting in what, But I see him pop up. Like, I don't think he's one of the top 3 most active people on his team right now.
Oh, no.
But I see him pop up, and I don't think he's one of those people that really disappears into the background, per se.
Yeah.
I think he's just kind of, like, solidly there, contributing ideas. I feel like he's one of those people that poses the threat of like he always does just enough that you can't get rid of him. And then once it gets down into the solo parts of the game, he can really kick it into high gear.
Oh yeah.
And that was honestly kind of part of the strategy that I implemented for Sorcerer's Apprentice. Was in the early parts of that game, I was doing just enough to where they'd be like, "Ah, good job, Tiki. That was a really good part of the project." But you know, I was basically conserving my energy though.
Yeah.
So I can see Dash Haber kind of taking a similar approach to that, like not going balls to the walls with the brainstorming, just kind of sitting back, letting things happen, but really still at the same time, you know, contributing when he needs to, doing solid contributions. He did contribute a few of the weekly challenges, and they were all really consistently good.
Oh yeah.
So I've got high hopes for him.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, like I said, he's a bit of a dark horse.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. All right, who's next?
T-Cool.
Okay. So this is another just classic person.
Oh yeah.
This guy was like in the it crowd of WDW Magic when I got here, and he just never left.
Yeah, very much, very much in that purview of a classic member of the board, one who's
not necessarily an iconic So You Want to Be an Imagineer player, but definitely an iconic WDW Magic Imagineering board presence.
Oh yeah.
I do know that he's got some stuff going on with him.
Yeah.
He let us know about, and very understandable that he wasn't able to do anything with the first project. Totally get it.
You know, that's life will happen. I remember it was the season before last of So You Want to Be an Imagineer.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, not that. No, Sorcerer's Apprentice. I had my own personal family troubles, and you know, I think that, you know, when so much of that comes down to communication.
Sure. So T. Cole, he was able to communicate with his team. I just the only thing I worry about, and I hate to even float this out there, but if he does, it's totally fine given the circumstances.
Yeah.
I do wonder if he's going to be an early dropout just because of all the stuff he's got going on, and I could totally see him just kind of throwing in the towel early and saying like, "Look, guys, I got nothing to prove. My life is a shit show right now. I got to bounce." And honestly, I can totally respect that. So.
Yeah, but you know, I can honestly also see him, you know, kind of diving deep in just as a distraction to life in general.
Yeah, totally, for sure.
You know, it could go either way, honestly.
I mean, that's like Sorcerer's Apprentice was a big, especially in the second half of the season when the quarantine was going down.
Oh yeah,
man, that was a big distraction for me for sure. All right, so yeah, T. Cool. Like I don't know. You know, it's funny because he did win a season of Sorcerer's Apprentice. I haven't won a season of Sorcerer's Apprentice. Doug. Yeah. But
yeah, very curious where these things are gonna come out.
Mm-hmm. All right, is this the let's see, this is number 4, number 5?
Number 5. So we got one more.
Okay, so this is the last member. Okay.
Yes, Sharon and Susan.
Ah.
A very newcomer to the board.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like, you know, what I've seen, I really like.
You know what's interesting about them is that in spite of being like a total newcomer, I get more of an old school vibe from them, and
Yes, very
not
much.
just because of the Sharon and Susan thing.
Yeah, very, very much a classic Disneyland kind of vibe.
And I honestly think that we need more players like that to counterbalance people like Nigel, who are just going to go balls to the walls creativity, with the creativity.
Yeah.
And I think that's honestly like an underrated element to have as a player, is to really kind of be able to hone in on exactly what the spirit of Walt Disney and the parks are. Now, I'm not sure exactly how well she's going to fare in in some of the wild IP challenges we have, coming up. We'll see.
Some of these challenges are going to be a stretch for a lot of our competitors, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I think Sharon and Susan is in there with a pretty decent chance of making at least the semifinals. I'm just gonna, for the record, let's just kind of say, like, I don't want to say like anybody's got a good chance of winning. I just want to like the ceiling should be semifinals for now.
Yeah.
In terms of predictions.
Your goal right now for everyone should just be make it to semis.
Yeah.
Well, once you're at semis, then you need to worry about finals.
This is Survivor, though, dude. Like, they need to worry about making the merge, first of all.
That's true.
Or we've got a team swap coming that they need to navigate through. I mean, we've got crazy shit on the way, bro. There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne.
It's to use my reality TV show choice, it's like Drag Race, where your goal is, I need to not lip sync this episode so I can make it to the next episode.
Right. All right, and that was the last member of Team SYWTBAI, right?
Yep, that's it. Jokers, Nigel, Beer Panther, Dash Aber, T-Cool, and Sharon and Susan.
Perfect. All right. Let's get into the next team. Let's go to Team Orbis or Team Durango? Team Orbis, right?
Team Orbis.
All right, let's get into Team Orbis. I'm going to go ahead and... Sorry, let me just... I've been updating the cast as we're going along here. Okay, Team Orbis. Who we got?
Well, first up, we got an absolute classic.
Ooh.
Pie on My Cake.
Oh, God. I mean, what more needs to be said of Pie? I mean...
Honestly. Consistency.
And he's just... I love his humor. I feel like he's got such humor. He's got such a rock solid social game that it's almost incredible.
He's so likable.
All right, this is turning into like a Pie cult of personality right now.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I'm genuinely kind of surprised that Pie and I haven't met up in real life yet. Because I feel like we already just like vibe with each other so well. But so Pie, I mean, I don't necessarily think he's got a one-way ticket to the semifinals.
No one has a one-way ticket.
Just because I feel like he is another person like Jokers, where he'll go out of his way until real life gets in the way, but he's not going to let real life, he's not going to let this game stop real life from happening.
Yeah.
So I could see something coming up and him having to kind of duck out at some point. I don't want to make predictions, of course, but
no.
But much like Jokers, I feel like as long as he doesn't have anything happen that prevents him from actively playing, if he keeps on this level of consistency that he's been at with the weekly challenges and then with this first project, I mean, yeah, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, it's kind of surprising that I'm trying to think, has Pie won any major game around here? I don't think he has.
I don't think so.
At least between Sorcerer's Apprentice and So You Want to Be an Imagineer, I don't think he has.
Yes.
That's crazy
Pi,
to
if
think
you're
about.
listening to this, go into the comments and tell us if you've won anything or not.
So yeah, I would be happy to have Pi as a winner of So You Want to Be an Imagineer, but
Yeah, get him in that winner's circle.
Yeah, he'll have to earn his spot though.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of competition. All right, next member.
Ace Astro.
Ace Astro. All right. One of my old podcast co-hosts.
Another obviously classic person.
Yeah.
Just I no 99% of the time the thing I think of most with Ace is the Kermit avatar.
Well, I just think of the fact that he's actually worked on Defunct Land.
Oh, that too.
But Ace, I got to be honest with you, he's been kind of quiet this round.
He has.
And that kind of worries me. I don't know how he's going to do this season. And honestly, I kind of have him just based on the fact that he didn't do the weekly challenges and he's been really quiet. Just based on all of that, I kind of have him towards the bottom of my tier list, honestly.
Yeah.
That's not to say that he can't surprise us.
No.
Because especially if he gets an IP that he really likes to work with, then he'll go on fire. I know that about him.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like he has the potential to be an early boot here. And I don't like saying that.
Yeah, I think that, honestly, anything can happen. Let's be real here. No, for all we know, he could be biding his time. And
every single time I've done a cast assessment, I've pointed towards at least one person as like a potential early boot, and they've gone on to like make the semifinals. It's like, so Ace could very well be that person.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, it's not like Ace doesn't have a good track record behind him. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just basing it just on the stuff I've seen so far from him.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Basket Buddy.
Okay. I have things to say about this guy.
Go ahead.
All right, hold on. Orbis. I'm going to post first. Okay. Oh boy. Things are about to get spicy. Basket Buddy. Basket Buddy. My bud. You are mathematically, as the only person who's won the game twice, the greatest player of all time. And So You Want to Be an Imagineer history. Just objectively, I can't deny that. You have won the game twice. No one else has won the game twice. Basket Buddy, I'm just gonna throw out like a freaking ultimatum for you this season.
Microscope.
I need you to work better with the team, dude. I was not impressed by what I saw this round. In terms of just like, I know he was around, he just didn't care about Mad Max, so he ducked out. And I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that he's going to contribute some kick-ass concept art, and that's great. And I'm sure whatever, if he does a flat ride or something, that's great too. Basket Buddy, as the greatest player of all time, you've gotta be more adaptable to these IPs, dude. Like, this is just how the game works now. I mean, I don't know. Like, remember what I was stressing about at the start of this podcast, Mickeyfan, about the social game,
social game and
teamwork. Gameplay. Yeah, the social game and the teamwork being key here. And Basket Buddy, I'm sorry, but I mean, like I said, I was not impressed by what I saw, because what I saw was you essentially throwing out like one or two ideas, then sort of disappearing into thin air once Mad Max came about. And then you basically just admitting that you ducked out because you didn't like the Mad Max IP.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, if you had a legitimate excuse like Gamer Princess did, that would be fine. That would be totally cool. But for me, the vibe I get is that you just didn't care. And that's not, I don't know, Basket Buddy. I'd love for you to clarify. And if there is anything going on in your personal life, I very much apologize, of course. And, like, obviously, this is a troubling time for a lot of us. I don't want to, like, just lay down the blame game or anything.
We rescind all shunning.
This is a game, after all. It's, we're all here to have fun.
Yeah.
But Basket Buddy, all I'm saying, buddy, is I really want you to try to work with the group more than you have in the past couple seasons. I really, if there's one goal for you this season, I think it shouldn't be getting your projects more detailed or upping your artwork even more. I feel like your artwork and your creativity and your detail is all out of 10 out of 10 right now. But your teamwork is at like a 6 out of 10. So I don't know. Am I making sense, Mickeyfan?
You're making sense. I'm catching what you're throwing here.
All right, cool. So Basket Buddy, obviously, winner potential, greatest player of all time.
Big time.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, who's the next one?
Gamer Princess.
Yeah. Good transition.
Yes. Not much this round, but they did have a bit of an excuse, and they did say that they'll be back for the true start, for lack of a better term.
Okay, so in terms of the excuses, I don't even think it's an excuse. I just think it's a valid reason.
Oh yeah.
We did start the season early, and we tried to let everyone know, but she literally, they literally didn't have their notifications turned on.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a problem. If they hadn't logged in to change their avatar or whatever they were doing, they wouldn't have even seen that. Yeah. And then B, they had finals. Yeah. So yeah, I'm totally like, I know that guy from Florida had finals too, and I don't think he's going to be doing much this round. So it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
And like I said, Basket Buddy, it's not like I need like a sob story from you or anything, dude, but like, I don't know, like at least let people know that you're working on concept art at the very least, because at the very least, if you're not into the idea, at least get input for the concept art. I feel like that should be like a bare minimum thing for Basket Buddy to be doing on a team. So, all right. Okay, anything else about Gamer Princess? I feel like we pretty much just covered their whole storyline in the first project.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. So let's see. We have 2 more people from Team Orbis.
Yes.
All right. Who we got?
Monty Dice with Navarro.
Ah, yes. Monty.
Another very newcomer.
I think this guy has winner upside for sure.
Yeah.
I just, every time I see his posts, I'm always just like, oh my God, this is the dude that we recruited at the last minute who didn't know anything about the game.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing to me. Like,
thank you,
90% of the time when we recruit someone at the last minute who doesn't know anything about the game, it's like a total like air letting out of the balloon, just nothing. Yeah. But Monty has he's just the exception to that. I feel like he might be even more promising in terms of just sheer creativity and writing skills and everything than Nigel.
Yeah.
I feel like they're right there with each other in terms of like the top tier new players this season.
Yeah, well, and I remember I was skimming through the Disneyland Paris board and just saw that he randomly armchair Imagineered a Fantasyland expansion.
Nice.
So, I'm really curious to see what Monty's going to bring to the table here.
I'm just going to make a bold statement here. like barring any like personal stuff coming up with him, I would be shocked if he doesn't make it to semifinals. I mean, just with the level of activity and the level of interest and, you know, just the writing that he has exhibited, he's just very, I don't know, I'm just very high on him.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm high on this entire cast.
Oh, I am too, don't get me wrong. And just also, I love the username. I've seen Gentleman's Guide. I actually have a poster of Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder in my room. I'm staring at right now. I'm a dice quick. I'm a dice quick. All right.
Yeah. It's a wonderful show. Listen to the album if you haven't.
Oh God, dude! The rhyming structure in that show is incredible.
It very much deserved that, Tony.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Why do I get the feeling that when they do the movie adaptation, fucking James Corden is going to play Monty?
We don't need you to speak that into existence.
Fair enough.
Shove that cursed thought back into your head.
Oh God. All right. Oh, I know the Corden is a touchy subject. Okay. This is the last one from Team Orbis, right?
Yes.
All right. Who we got?
Pufflefan.
All right. I think this is the biggest wild card in the whole cast.
Probably. A lot of potential. But I think it's very much dependent on how the rest of the team can synthesize some energy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, they're devoted enough into it to where they did do the weekly challenges.
Yes.
Even though they came in, I'm split on this though, because they came in as like some of the lowest scoring weekly challenges. But more importantly, I don't necessarily think they took our feedback as good as they could have.
Yes.
In terms of the presentation and like so I feel like with Nigel is a perfect example of a guy who took our feedback and ran with it.
Oh my gosh, constant building.
So I don't know. I'm worried about Pufflefan.
I
feel like Pufflefan is like, I feel like they have the potential to be one of those players who shows up early, is enthusiastic, but then once they realize how much work is involved in the actual game, maybe gets overwhelmed.
Yes, I can see that happening.
But being as though they did complete all the weekly challenges, I could also see them making a deep run. And just because one of the big things you need to have in this game is devotion and the follow through.
For the most part, their actual projects were not where they went wrong. It was always in the presentation.
It was literally just the presentation, yeah.
So I think there's a chance if the teams line up like I think they're going to. I think that Pufflefan definitely has a chance.
All right. Okay, so let's transition into Team Durango.
Yes. So first up, we have Pergron.
This guy, I think, might be the powerhouse of the whole cast, honestly.
Oh, definitely.
Because I feel like he's got the leadership potential. He's got the free time on his hands. He's got the creative writing skills.
Yeah,
he's the complete package.
Yeah, he's a bit of a master of all.
Yeah. And just honestly, seeing his leadership with the Team New School this round.
Yeah.
Honestly, some of the best leadership I've ever seen in a first round, just in terms of just like him just picking, just grabbing the bull by the horns before we even need an official project leader, because this is basically just a warm-up round for all intents and purposes.
And
would you
argue that it might be some of the best leadership in the entire game?
Man, that's tough, because I'd have to go back and like think of like classic seasons with really stellar leaders, but
definitely up
in recent memory for sure. At least as far as the Vision's Fantastic, or as far as the WDW Magic era goes, it might be the best leadership I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I just don't want to, like, with the classic seasons, those happened so long ago that it's hard to even remember the leadership stuff going on back then.
Yeah.
I got to admit, I was a bit of a dictator of a leader when I played. I was effective, but I was not nice. I was kind of a villain. And I was very much, it was in the era of Russell Hantz. You remember this, actually, Mickeyfan, right? I hope you do.
Possibly. You're going to have to...
This was season 8. This was like the era of Russell Hantz on Survivor, and I had the big mastermind speech at the end of the season, like laying out all my strategy.
Yeah. I remember,
and the mastermind speech was basically my whole final project. Like, I didn't even bother doing a final project.
I think I remember this because I remember reading it and I was like, what the hell is my reading? This guy okay? Do I need to call someone?
Oh God. Honestly, at the time I probably wasn't okay, if I'm being honest. But I was probably a little bit too into it. All right. But yeah, Peregrine, just safe to say, I think he's probably got the biggest winner upside in the whole cast, arguably.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Next up.
Orlando.
For the Book of Mormon fans out there. Orlando, I feel, is another person who's like smack dab right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, he's not one of the people that's really sticking out to me as like a top tier player, but by the same time, I feel like he posts enough for me to notice that he's there, and he hasn't made any major blunders like a couple of the other people have so far. So I honestly, I hate to say this is going to sound derogatory, but it's not. He might be the most vanilla cast member in the whole cast.
Ooh.
But you know what I mean? It's like
there's something wrong with vanilla.
Exactly. When I say vanilla, I'm just like, you know what you're getting. You know what you're gonna get.
You know what you're gonna get. So, and you know it's gonna be good.
Right. It's not gonna be flashy. It's not gonna be, unless he really steps up his game, which he could.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Orlando's been one of those people who he really kind of like seems to orbit right around the midpoint of every given season that he's in before kind of fizzling out. And I hate to say it, but just given his pattern of activity, nothing really indicates otherwise to me that this is going to be a pattern that breaks the season. But we'll see. We'll see.
Still early days.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not that, I definitely think there's been people that have been less active than him, for sure. And, with the early days, really the activity is really going to start mattering once it gets into these teams of 6 and the eliminations start happening. Yeah. So, all right. Okay, next up.
Outbound.
Okay, this is another one where he already has a secret power that you guys don't know about. But I think Outbound and Peregrine on this team could just very easily just like be another power duo that just grabs hold of the game and just takes it by the balls.
Well, and honestly, I think Pi and Ace could be that for Team Orbis.
We'll see. We'll see.
All
right, so Outbound, I mean, obviously the dude blew us away with the solo projects and the Fozzie Bear of it all. And I think that his quality of stuff is not diminished. I feel like he's been one of the most active people in brainstorming, and he's coming up with even more innovative presentation styles. I honestly think with his presentation, he could maybe be a new coming of Basket Buddy in terms of like, I feel like his presentation could change the game in the same way that Basket Buddy's concept art changed the game.
Oh yeah.
Which is that's very exciting because I remember when Basket Buddy's concept art came onto the scene, just all of a sudden the bar for quality was just raised exponentially.
Well, you know, in the pre-game projects, you know, it was the bar was set for excellence in the project category.
Oh yeah. So I think Team Durango, between Peregrine and Outbound, although I do think that they've got some of the more low tier players on the team as well, I think that they're positioned really well with just those two guys leading the charge here.
Oh yeah, I think that, you know, it's these teams are really well balanced.
At least we hope so, Mickeyfan. Yes. We really hope so. We try. We put in work to make sure they were balanced, man.
Yeah, well, we have half newcomers, half classics. So
yeah.
It's almost a new fans versus favorites, honestly.
It almost is. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to market it that way, though. No. All right. Who's the next one?
Disney Lover.
Ah, okay. Disney Lover. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself here. Very interesting player. I feel like they're kind of mid-tier.
Yeah.
They could really come out and prove themselves, or they could also fizzle out. As easily fizzle out. Yeah. I don't really have a ton to say about them. I mean, they have completed some stuff so far, though, right? Yeah. So it's not that they're not total non-entities. They're not a total non-entity, but I feel like they're kind of at the bottom rung of the activity going on Team New School right now. However, the activity going on Team New School right now is honestly pretty insane.
It is,
and I wouldn't necessarily blame people for being a little bit overwhelmed by it.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like honestly, it kind of reminds me of when I was brainstorming for Disneyland Mumbai, and I was like, "Oh God, guys, I got nothing. I can just do like one little section of it because I cannot keep up with this brainstorming."
Oh, Mumbai.
So if Disney Lover is just in a spot like that, which I think is probably, I'm guessing, a possibility, then I think they still have a lot of potential, given depending on what project they're working on.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Definitely not someone that I'm like actively like, yeah, they're for sure going to make the semifinals, but you know, it'd be nice to see them make a good run for it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, next up.
Next up is Goofy Yuck Yuck Yuck. I've never said it out loud before.
I didn't realize it was 3 yucks. For some reason, my brain just always read it as 2. Goofy Yuck Yuck Yuck.
Another newcomer.
What? Another newcomer, yeah. And I honestly feel like he has the possibility to be the Monty / Nigel of this particular team.
Oh yeah.
I feel like out of the 3 of them, he's the least active of the 3 of them, but honestly, not by that much. Like, he's still in there. He's still in the thick of it. He's still doing stuff. He's new. He's active. He's into it. He's got enthusiasm. And honestly, I keep saying this, but like, that's really 90% of what you need to succeed in this game is just like continued enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So
it really is.
So Goofy Yuck Yuck, honestly, I haven't seen enough of his written work yet to say that he's like a prediction to make the semifinals. But he's like right on the cusp. I do think he's going to at least make the merge.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. Who else is left? How many other people?
Our last person.
Last one. Okay.
Is that guy from Florida.
All right.
So, I honestly do not know what to think of that guy from Florida.
Okay. I feel like he had a bit of a stumble with the brainstorming this round.
Yes.
That being said, I'm going to give him credit where credit's due, though. He mentioned to us specifically that he didn't want to start a week early. Yes. And we said, that's okay. We'll give you a free pass. You don't have to do anything this round at all because we understand you've got commitments. Totally fine. No deal. And he still does stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that in itself, I just commend for sure. However, that guy from Florida, you gotta team brainstorming is tricky, especially for newcomers. And I remember when I would get projects that were in my head, and I was like, I do not want to let go of this, man. I would be heartbroken. This is such a good idea. I would be heartbroken to let go of this.
I've been in that situation.
And I feel like they were there with the Cartoon Network thing.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I feel like it doesn't fit with Epic Universe. I feel like it would fit better as like let's say if they had to replace Springfield, that would be the perfect thing to replace Springfield.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's one thing. I'm saying this for everyone, every single person in the cast, even Basket Buddy, even old schoolers. Like, honestly, the only person in this cast that I trust already knows this is Jokers. If you've got an idea and the team is just not jiving with it, don't push it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can maybe make like a counter argument, but like if your idea was, like if people just generally speaking don't seem to be on board, and I'm not saying that guy from Florida was pushing it per se, but he was definitely kind of like stuck on the idea just a little bit.
Yes, and I have absolutely been there.
Oh yeah. And I have too, for sure. And I've also run projects into the ground because I insist on going my way, and then it turns out to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that being said, like I said, I really respect that guy from Florida is doing anything at all this round. Yeah. And given that his free time might free up next round, he might come in as a force to be reckoned with.
I think that's a major possibility, especially with this team of Pergron and Outbound and yeah.
So yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is the team roster right there. Mickeyfan, do you want to read it out one more time?
All right, I would be happy to. So on Team Citra, we have Joker's Wild, Nigel Channing 09, Brer Panther, Dash Haber, T-Cool 123, and Sharon and Susan. On Team Orbis, we have Pie on My Cake, Ace Astro, Basket Buddy 101, Gamer Princess, Monty Dicequith Navarro, Pufflefan. And on Team Durango, we have Paragon Studio, Orlando 678, Outbound, Disney Lover 152, Goofy Yuck 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 17, and that guy from Florida.
All right. So should be very exciting. I like the fact that, like, I feel like we did a really good job in terms of, like, we have 2 really heavy hitters on each team. We have 2 mid-tier people on each team. And then we have 2 people that we're really not sure about, but that do have potential on each team.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that's just, it's going to be a good mix.
I
got to admit, I'm still, until I see all 3 teams working like with a pretty even number of page numbers between the 3 of them, I'm going to be paranoid that one of them is going to be less active than the other 2.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be paranoid until I see the level of activity from the 3 teams. But yeah, I'm very excited about the season, though. It's definitely shaping up to be one of the best we've ever done, especially with the level of fan interaction. And Mickeyfan, your wonderful graphics are certainly helping.
Oh, you flatter me. Say more.
All right. All right. So yeah, that will be it, folks. Mickeyfan, if you can go ahead and post the final teams on the thread, all grid-like you have it on the PM, that would be great.
I would be happy to.
Okay. Oh, and also include the image that we're seeing right before us now with the 3 team logos.
All right, I will get that up there.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, folks, if you heard criticisms about yourself, it's literally the only reason we criticize is because we want to see improvement, and we know you guys can improve, and we know you guys can just kick ass, every single one of you. Yeah. So, don't let it go to your head if we called you as like one of our winner candidates, but don't get too discouraged if we called you out on some stuff.
That just means you have something to prove.
Exactly. Anything can happen this season.
Yes.
So I'm really excited, and yeah, I'd also just obviously turn in the old school and new school projects tomorrow, and then we will get posting on. I'm going to just go ahead and post the project midnight tomorrow.
All right.
Which, if you live on the I don't know if anyone on this cast lives on the West Coast, but if you do, that's 9:00, so you don't have to stay up until midnight if you're on the West Coast.
West Coast really.
All right, guys. See you later. Have a good night. Tiki's gonna get drunk.
Mickeyfan has already gotten drunk.
Later. Peace.
Bye.